Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mannschrecks.
Commentary on Christian life and culture, or something like that.
Commentary on Christian life and comedy, apparently, thanks to your less favorite host, JJ.
And the favorite everybody really wants to hear from is, do you remember when we first started this podcast and it was like, I was doing all the talking. I was like, I have stories to share you. And then family members who love us and were like the first people to listen to the podcast were like, JJ, you have to stop talking. We want to hear more of Sarah.
I don't remember that, but I can believe it. Usually people say that. Why do you talk so much?
Are you ready to approach the news desk?
Yes.
I'm going to let you go first because I think you have more stories than I do.
Okay, well, yeah, all right. So my first story is kind of goofy, and I feel weird saying goofy because it's kind of funny for what seems like a morbid reason, but the story is Arizona grandmother's Eminem-themed funeral casket goes viral.
Oh, what?
Yep. So Mary Stocks Martin of Snowflake, Arizona, was buried in a casket that she built and modeled after the blue Eminem.
The casket was modeled?
You should see a picture of this thing.
Wow.
So she died at the beginning of February. She was 86. She lived in Arizona. It was held at chapel in Arizona on February 18. Guests were able to see her elaborate casket during the wake and graveside service.
Wow.
So one of her grandsons talked to the news station and told them that she had worked as a school teacher for 30 years and she used to initial everything that she'd returned to her students and everything MSM, which were her initials, Mary Stocks Martin.
Yeah.
But in cursive, her students thought it looked like Eminem.
Cute.
So they started bringing her M&M's memorabilia, and it kind of like transpired into this little
That's such
connection,
a cute reason,
right? And so they would, as you know, a way of showing affection, would bring her memorabilia and give it to her, and so she kept it as part of her, reflections and her success as a teacher.
Yep. So
years later, decided that she was going to build her own M&M shaped casket with her son before her death.
That's the weirdest mother-son project I've ever heard of.
So she said the casket was modeled after her favorite M&M, the blue almond M&M, which had been named Blue.
Wow.
It was introduced in 1995, and it describes what the M&M looks like. But
is it blue?
Yes. Believe it or not, it is in fact
circular and chocolate
blue.
And almond.
Oh, not circular.
Oh, it's almond shaped?
It's oblong because it is an almond.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
So anyways, this casket captured the essence of Blue, which featured the close-eyed Eminem while his hands held miniature candies that had the names of her great-grandchildren, children, and grandchildren etched onto each Eminem. So the casket is the blue Eminem. It is holding in its Eminem gloved hands a bouquet of mini M&Ms, which have the names of each of her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren on it.
That's just, we've crossed into, I think, weird. When it's interactive and I get excited to see a casket because
but
it's
her son helped
candy.
her build it.
That's so...
It said funeral attendees wore M&M t-shirts and hats. A single red hat was left on her casket.
You know what? I know that M&M has been a little hot water for their advertising, but honestly, they've gone too far. Maya Rudolph, get in here and replace the M&Ms.
This was her casket.
That's not... Oh, see, I think
looks like she's buried in a novelty tin.
Yeah, it is. It's a novelty tin that looks exactly... It's too nice. It's too cartoony.
It is, but that's her casket.
It's like getting buried in like a Mickey Mouse costume.
That's why did my mind go there too. I was like, it's like I got buried in Disneyland, and that's my
it's too festive, and that's...
Yes, Mary Stocks Martin is buried somewhere in Arizona inside an M&M casket.
In 100 years, they're going to unearth that casket, and they're going to be like, ooh, this looks fun. I bet it's full of M&Ms.
It's a time capsule full of M&Ms. There's a dead
body
in there.
Oh, my gosh.
She was...
An M&M casket carved herself. Now, I have heard of people who woodworkers or whatever, people who they do. They make their own casket. But novelty...
It must have been...
M&M.
I wonder how her son felt about it. He must have been Yeah, I don't know. For me, I would feel so. It just seems kind of morbid to be like, yeah, let's build your casket together. You're still alive, and you know that your family member really wants to do this.
Yeah.
And so as you're working on that with them, knowing they will be gone. I mean, maybe they have a much healthier view of death than I do, but I would feel so sad to do that with my parent.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Anyway.
And
yeah.
I don't know. On the one hand, you do get to spend time together doing something, and that's always good. You know, especially in the later years, you finding reasons and ways to be together. That's cool. But no, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
And it's not like she is the inventor of M&M's.
No, she really has no connection to M&M's except for the fact that her students founded a connection by her signature.
I do think that's very cute.
It is.
But it's like, okay, if you could sum up your entire life with one hobby, one thing that you're known for, do you really want it to be almond M&Ms? Not even the best type of M&Ms.
Hey, now, almonds are good. I like
peanut
almond
butter
M&Ms.
M&Ms are the best ones.
They're a cheap wannabe Reese's piece.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No.
Reese's are the greatest candy that exists.
I don't like peanut butter and chocolate as much as you do.
What?
No.
We can't be friends anymore.
I know. That's okay. I'm fine with that, actually. People would listen to my own
Peanut
podcast
butter?
much better than yours.
Are you branching out
I
on your
am.
own?
I'm going rogue. Everybody follow me at my new podcast.
Oh, man, we lost 3 of our 4 followers.
It's just you now.
It's just me. I'm the only one who listens to the JJ podcast.
Oh, boy.
That would be a terrible podcast. The JJ podcast. No. That is hilarious. People who think they are attractive are less likely to wear masks.
Is that why you never masked up during COVID?
I think I'm too attractive for a mask.
Now, are they talking about COVID masks or superhero masks?
NPR new study shows people are less likely to wear masks that prevent COVID-19 if they see themselves as good looking. Not if they are good looking, but if they see themselves as good looking. According to a study, researchers asked 1,030 participants to self-evaluate how attractive they deemed themselves, how likely they were to wear a mask, and if in certain situations, such as a job interview... Sorry, I really botched that sentence. How likely they were to wear a mask, and if certain situations, such as a job interview or walking the dog, impacted their willingness to wear one.
Wow.
The more attractive a person perceived themselves, the less likely they were to wear a mask because they thought the mask made them less attractive.
What about those of us who really appreciated the masks and we didn't have to do much with our face?
Oh, the next sentence. Inversely, the less attractive someone found themselves, the more likely they were to wear a mask.
I wear a mask all the time, especially even when I'm at home, like by myself. The less I have to look at my face, the better.
That's the weirdest picture ever. But it does fit with your personal assessment of yourself, which is mistaken.
But that is so weird. So people who
think they're
too good looking for a mask because everybody has to see their
just makes me think
amazing face.
Andy from Parks and Rec. You heard her, Doc. Too handsome for glasses. The former group was less likely, hypothetically, to wear a mask for a job interview, while the latter group was more likely to wear a mask in that circumstance. Quote, our findings suggest that mask wearing can shift from being a self-protection measure during COVID-19 pandemic to a self-presentation tactic in the post-pandemic era.
Whew,
is that just not
so bizarre, but yet not surprising?
So that's why people didn't want to wear masks. Really, they're so vain. You probably think this mask is about you.
Boy, that's It puts a whole new spin on a lot of things.
A little bit. I'm sitting over here wondering, why on earth are they even bothering to ask this question?
Why would they be doing this study?
Who's
like a waste
asking
of money
for this information? But I did think it was
New study
hilarious.
finds that people are more likely to be vain when they own mirrors. Oh, shocking.
I just think, it fits, but I found that it was more, for me, especially during the pandemic, it fell more along, ideological lines. There was people who didn't like masks and people who did like masks, and they fit into certain political parties, or at least into those camps, you know?
Yeah.
And that had nothing to do with whether they thought they were attractive.
I'm too beautiful for this mask. Just don't even bother.
And I never heard And I guess it's not really a rationale you would voice, right? Like you wouldn't say it out loud, but
no, you totally think it though. Oh, God. You keep your mask.
So that's why I never liked
hidden.
that mask. Because I'm super vain into myself. Everyone needs to see what I look like.
So much sense now.
Like Ron Burgundy. Come and see how good I look.
All right. At Key West's annual conch shell blowing contest, the winners really blow.
Well,
just take a minute to appreciate that terrible pun.
They really blow.
Huffington Post article informs us that a Canadian woman and a pediatric cardiologist from Georgia won the men's and women's contests at Key West's annual conch shell blowing contest.
Nice.
Using different techniques to impress Saturday's judges. There's a conch shell blowing contest.
I was not aware that you could actually blow a conch shell and make a noise. I thought that was just something like in movies and stuff.
So a man from Georgia played a Jimmy Buffett song on a conch pink.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So he played it so it can be played like a flute.
No way. Did he like drill holes in it or something?
Have.
What? Okay, so
and
this
then a
is
woman
like...
from Ontario blew long, loud blasts with her shell to beat other competitors. So the man said, who won his part, he said he began blowing the mollusk shell about 10 years ago during a family visit to Key West, and then adapted techniques he learned from playing the trumpet as a child. So he has a technique for playing the conch shell.
If you could get a song to come out of a conch shell, I mean, that's amazing.
Gosh.
I had no idea what I thought. But like when you started this story, I was like blowing a shell. Like you're just making a big or a whistling noise, like blowing on the top of a like a beer bottle or something.
Yeah.
But this is...
It's a 59th annual contest.
60 years they've been doing this? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I hope there's video. I want to go watch them.
It's just, there is a video at the bottom and there's a little clip, but yeah, so the conch shell is an enduring symbol of the Florida Keys and it's been used for more than 2 centuries.
Wow.
As a maritime signaling device. The island chain is nicknamed the Conch Republic. But apparently other performers drew cheers and laughter from spectators, but these two won the competition.
The way you paused before one.
It's so...
One? Like...
No, there are no winners.
There's no winners in this.
It's just so bizarre. Like, there's a conch shell blowing contest and...
Is there money involved? Like...
It didn't say if there's any sort of prize. You just get the bragging rights of being the conch shell king or queen.
I love it.
Oh, it's weird.
That's the best.
Very.
All right, bus driver rescues sheep on her first day of work.
Where?
Martine Patty, a bus driver in England, was on her way to Eastbourne when she found a sheep wandering on the road and then gave it a ride home.
And was immediately fired from her job after her first day as a bus driver.
Martine Patty was on her first day of duty when she encountered a sheep wandering on... I struggled right there. Encountered a sheep wandering on the road and halting traffic. The bus driver in England was on her way to Eastbourne for her first ever rail replacement bus duty when she decided to halt her trip and rescue the sheep that was in danger of getting hit by a car. The newly inducted driver pulled over, caught hold of the lost sheep, held it in her bus with the help of 2 other people. I feel like there's a sermon illustration in there somewhere. I was going to say,
there's something there.
While recalling the incident of wrangling the sheep with Brighton and Hove buses, Patty said the sheep was running all over the road. It was difficult to catch, but then it slipped just in front of me and I was able to get a hold of it and use my handbag strap like a lasso.
Oh, there's an image.
2 other motorists had stopped to help and together we were able to hold on to it till the police arrived. I love it. She took a selfie with this thing on her bus. Course. Like there's a sheep on her bus. When the police reached them, they instructed Patty to take the sheep back to the safety of its farm. She drove the sheep a short distance before the animal's owner came and took it back. Interestingly, despite the turn of events, Patty managed to reach her destination with a delay of merely 1 minute.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Right? That's
really impressive, actually.
That's the most impressive part of the story, actually. Not the fact that she caught and saved a sheep.
I was going to say, was the owner mad that, she decided to, take the sheep for a little joyride? Or
a sheep gets away wanders in traffic, and a bus driver pulls over to get it.
This seems like a good thing to do my first day.
I think it's such a good story.
That's so random, though.
Looks like she posted it on Instagram, and that's what
Did the sheep poop on the bus?
That was my first thought. Oh my goodness, we're the same brain. I was like, that's what the sheep is gonna do.
Absolutely. So now they got to add a new verse. The sheep on the bus go bleat, bleat, bleat.
Oh, is it cursing?
No, bleat.
No, is that not funny? Bleep, bleat. It's close, right?
It's not funny. I didn't catch what you said.
I thought it was funny.
Good job, JJ.
All right, I'll cut that joke out. Fine. All right, you got one more?
My last story is real short and really goofy. So,
I love it.
Woman accidentally eats heart-shaped potato chip worth over $120,000. Quote, I didn't realize.
Okay, the potato chip, no potato chip on the earth has ever been worth $125,000. They just fooled someone into paying that much money for something.
No, so apparently what happened was a woman from England mistakenly ate a heart-shaped potato chip that could have rewarded her a massive cash prize.
Oh.
A company was running, so there was a company in England called Walkers. They're a British snack food company, and they manufacture potato chips. So she was unaware that the snack was of value at the time. She was eating the potato chips, and she took a picture and thought, that looks heart-shaped. And she sent a picture of it to her friends after getting the bag of snacks after Valentine's Day, which apparently was when they were running the contest for.
Okay.
So she's eating these potato chips. She takes a picture, sends it to the friends, and they texted her, sent her information said, "Don't eat it. It's part of a competition." It wasn't until they messaged me back saying not to eat it due to the competition that I knew anything about it and had already eaten the potato chip.
That's amazing.
The press release shared by the Walkers Chip Company is giving away £100,000, which is equivalent to about $120,000, to whoever finds the best heart-shaped crisp in their Walker's bag of crisps.
Oh man. So that's a bummer. Whoever finds the best.
Unaware, Dawn ate the chip after taking a photo, and the lucky winner had to send in the eligible potato chip.
You had to send it in.
So she forfeited the prize because she did not. Gosh. It could have been the perfect match.
It's like if Willy Wonka's golden ticket was made of chocolate and a kid accidentally ate it. You know, it was like,
dude, I'm buying the potato chips to eat the potato chips.
I don't look at my potato chips. What on earth?
Right? I never look at my potato chips. I just take a big old scoop of them and I'm like, okay.
Oh, but how mad would you be if you found out after the fact that it would have been worth?
It's like getting a lottery ticket and then throwing it away and realizing that it was actually worth money.
Yeah. Oh, I actually saw a story. So this is a bonus story. I didn't actually click on the article, but there's so many lottery stories, by the way.
Oh my gosh. In
the strange news world of the internet, there are so many.
Yep.
But there was a lady who actually threw out her lottery ticket thinking that it was not a winner, and then she second guessed herself, went back and checked, and it was like $50,000 or something like
that's
that.
Pretty
it wasn't it wasn't
but
like
still,
that's mega million.
$50,000 more than she had before.
It's absolutely true.
Well, $25,000 more than she had before.
Yeah, she got some taxes, but so that actually did happen.
That's
but
crazy.
She ate the potato chip.
I thought that was so funny. I was like, what? I thought it too. I was like, what? Did she accidentally buy a bag of potato chips from someone and they were like, that had the special Madonna-shaped potato chip in it or something?
Yep, Jesus's face was in the potato chip.
the Beyonce one or whatever. Nope. Yes. There was a contest and she ate her potato chip and that's worth money.
That's so funny. I love it.
So, yeah, super weird, but funny.
All right. Are you ready for the sponsor of your life?
I am.
What do you got?
Sponsor of my life, super generic, super simple, baking it for hundreds of thousands of years, I'm sure. Just sourdough bread.
Yes.
It's really been sponsoring my life. I have, but I feel like I finally hit my groove with sourdough. It's been a process, but I mean, I've been baking some loaves now, and it's just really, it just brings joy.
Made with sourdough is so much heartier, and you just feel like you're eating a sandwich, It's true. I made grilled cheese last night. It was so good. For lunch today, I made myself toast with eggs, on sourdough. It was so good. It's just, I made some more sourdough, and I'm making some loaves for friends tonight, and it's just so good. So, I just feel like it's really I agree. The sourdough is awesome, and it's just getting better and better. I remember, I think the last time we talked about it was the sourdough cinnamon rolls.
Oh, yeah, that was at Christmas time. Yeah, that's really good.
Good stuff. But now we're just doing loaves of bread, and it's so good. It took us, I mean, how long have you been doing sourdough? It's been a long time.
I made my starter probably right around the time we started this podcast.
So like almost a year
Almost a year, yeah.
Right? So it's been a lot of work to like get.
It's been a lot of trial and error. Sourdough is like definitely a learning process, and there's definitely a learning curve because like if you don't have enough like humidity in your house, and if you don't get the balance of everything right, like it's tough. And how many times has my starter accidentally been baked in the oven? JJ, tell us how many times has it accidentally been baked? Because
once or twice. Maybe.
I left it in the oven and forgot to tell you. You baked some chips and cheese.
And I forgot.
But either way, it's been fun. It's like, I don't know. It's one of those things that like it's not easy, but once you finally figure it out, it's like there's a sense of satisfaction in being able to cultivate your own starter and like have natural living yeast in your house all the time to be able to use. So yeah,
I love it.
How about you?
For me, the sponsor in my life is Waste Management, Waste Disposal Company. I think that's just what it's called, right? Waste Management. Yeah. They are, I think they're based out of Grand Rapids, but they are the provider for Flushing, and they do
for trash removal and recycling.
It's
and everything.
Incredible. So we're moving next week. Actually, we're getting down to the wire. Yeah. So we have been putting out so much junk by the road. We've been purging our system, and it's like we're throwing this out. The new house is wonderful. We love it, but it has less storage.
Yeah.
So we have to purge. We have to kind of downsize our storage stuff. So we're getting rid of anything that we had that like, well, just in case we need it. And so we've been putting all kinds of weirdo stuff out by the road for weeks. And most recently we've been putting lots of stuff. And like this last week, for example, we put an old dead treadmill that's been in the basement for two years. And it's been dead for 2 years. And it's like, we need to get it out there. And we dragged it up. We had some family over, and I said, hey, you guys are here for this birthday party. Let's go move heavy things. And we dragged that out to the road. And at first, they didn't take it. And I was like, shoot. But then they came back.
Yeah, they came back for like
with
large
a trailer and got it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I was so pleased with their service. They're doing a great job hauling away all our stuff. And I like, you don't really realize how amazing it is to have a trash removal service that always takes all the junk
and is very reliable.
So I'm very grateful, and they are definitely sponsoring my life and sponsoring this move. So I'm appreciative of Waste Management. All right, so are you ready for our bit?
Maybe.
Okay, so this past week, as again we're gearing up for this move, I was telling people all the various ways that you can keep track of us, the Mannschrecks, online. You know, you can check out the website, you can follow me on all these different social medias, and I mentioned our podcast. And I had somebody from the church say, "Oh, I've never listened to a podcast before. I'm really excited to tune in. I'm sure you guys just talk about your kids all the time."
I don't know. We don't really talk about our kids
really
all that
at all.
much.
I was like, actually, we tell like goofy news stories, and she's like, no, I don't care about that. I just want to hear about your kids.
It's funny because I feel like if you listen to our podcast, you wouldn't necessarily always know that we have 4 of them.
Well, there is like we always have Asher in the
That's
background.
true. Asher used to be in the background a lot.
He falls asleep better nowadays, so. Anyways, all right, so we are going to return to a bit from, I think, our 2nd episode.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Great Big Family, which is where we talk about our family and tell stories. Well, and so we have 4 amazing little boys who we love very much, and we're just going to tell goofy stories. And so I have some stories, and if you think of any stories, just chime in as you go, okay?
For sure.
All right, so first, I'm going to start with our oldest, Liam, and tell the come and partake story.
Okay.
So in our house, he is the quintessential pastor's kid. Like, this is Liam to a T. He's the way I was, but on steroids. Like, I was never this much. And so in our house, he found some gloves, and I mean by gloves I mean like food gloves.
Oh,
no, like
food
gloves. Service gloves, like the clear ones that are for handling food. Now in his brain, he associates that with communion, because the ladies at the church who prepare communion put on the food service gloves to cut up the bread and to do the little things, right? Because of COVID. So we have all these policies in place, and so they prepare that. And so when he saw those gloves, he put them on, and they're way too big for his hands, but he got so excited. He's like, I I'm going to do communion.
Oh, that's cute.
And so he set up chairs and put all his stuffed animals on the chairs like a little congregation. And then he did communion in the living room for the congregation. He told the story. And then he just like did this big gesture with his hands. And he went, now come, please, come and partake.
Which is word for word what his father says. That is fitting.
I loved it so much.
Great.
I tried to get a video of it, and I got like a video of him waving his arms. You can't
a
really
little bit, and his brothers were there, like going through the line trying to get some.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. It's such a, it's so weird. Like it's such an odd thing.
Yep.
And I don't think I ever did that as a kid. I don't think I ever emulated communion. But Liam does it all the time.
Yeah,
he thinks it's so fun.
He does. Yeah. He's entertaining. He definitely likes to like copy us or like emulate us in many ways.
Oh,
yeah. So my funny story for Liam was we were sitting at lunch today. We had watched Moana a couple weeks ago. He keeps singing that Shiny song from Moana,
that's
right?
Yes.
And he didn't know the lyrics. He knows the tune, right? He didn't know the word that it was shiny, was the main word that they sing. So it was like cleaner, and I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Cleaner like a wealthy woman's, cleaner than a wealthy woman's neck." And I went, "Wait, what?"
Now, for context, in the movie Moana, there's a crab that sings a song, and it says, "I'm shiny like a wealthy woman's neck," talking about jewelry.
I had to explain this to him. He said it was cleaner than a wealthy woman's neck. And I went, first of all, the image of a wealthy woman's neck being like this crusty old, it was really gross. I could not stop laughing when he said that. Then I asked him to explain the logic, and he said, well, because the crab is cleaner than a wealthy woman's neck because they're really dirty and
wealthy women are dirty.
They don't ever shower. I lost it. Like I was eating, and I'm pretty sure I just saw it. Like they were all so confused why I was laughing so hard. They just stopped and watched me. Like, what is wrong with Mom?
What's wrong?
And I was like, cleaner than honey. No. I'm sure a wealthy woman is very clean. She probably showers daily, several times a day. But no, it's shiny like a wealthy woman's neck because of her jewelry. And he looked at me and he shrugged and goes, I like the way I did it better.
Well, and he's right.
Like, me too, man. It was so funny. I could not stop laughing.
Oh, it's so perfect.
Ridiculous.
All right, let's move to Amos, our second oldest. He's 4 years old, and he just has... when he wants to. So he's kind of our little wrecking ball. Like he can be so like bouncing off the walls and jumping off of stuff and all that. But he knows how to turn on like the cutest voice that exists in the human world. Like
true.
He can be so stinking adorable. And part of that is he has, I don't know if it's a lisp or just an enunciation thing or if it's just his age.
He has some issues.
He cannot pronounce S at the start of a word.
He can't. It's words
spoon.
with it's consonant clusters. So like SM or SP or something like that.
So if he asks for a poovie, what he means is smoothie, but he can't say that, so he comes up with something close.
He substitutes.
Look at a poovie. I want poovie.
Yeah.
And it's the stinking cutest thing ever.
It's so cute.
It makes me think about, I mess up words too. Like I always say breakfast wrong. I always say breakfast.
Yeah. I haven't thought about that in a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. You used to make fun of me when we first started dating.
Yeah, I gave up.
Poovie, poon, and what's the other thing he always said?
He says pokey and says smoky.
Yeah.
He says
it pokey.
It smells really pokey in here.
Yep,
I said, what?
Fire.
You mean smells really smoky in here? Yeah. Yeah, Pel's really pokey in
Pel's
here.
really pokey.
Yeah, what was it the other day? I couldn't stop laughing. Not that, and it wasn't a pronunciation issue, but he was talking about him and Liam were very excitedly playing, and they were pretending to pew, pew, pew something. And I said, what are you doing? And he goes, we're getting the side bugs. I said, side bugs? What are you talking about? He goes, the side bugs are attacking us. And we had just watched Wreck-It Ralph. And if you've ever seen the movie Wreck-It Ralph, they're cybugs, spelled C-Y, like cyborgs.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what a cyborg is.
No,
And he
of course
doesn't know what a cybug would be either. And I had to explain to him, no, they're not side bugs. And he goes, well, yeah, they're side bugs because they're inside the game. And I went...
Yeah,
I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah, sure.
That logic is pretty airtight. I'm just gonna let it go because it
argue
makes
with it.
sense in your mind and it doesn't matter anyway. So go ahead, call them side bugs. So that's what he has been doing.
That's fantastic.
It's great.
All right, moving to the next one, Ezra. Just this morning, he came up to me, and it was the cutest stinking thing. He's learning how to dress himself, and he gets really excited about his clothes. Also,
Yes.
very opinionated about his clothes.
Very.
Like, I don't want to wear this shirt or whatever. But he comes up to me, and he's wearing pants that he put on all by himself, and he was very proud, but they were completely inside out.
It was impressive, honestly, how he was able to get those
How did
on
you
that
even
well.
do that?
Completely
The
inside
pockets
out.
were like flapping.
I know.
out.
He came out of his bedroom and he goes, he goes, look at these pants. I got these pants on. I went, how did you get those on so well? Completely inside out.
It was awesome.
Shocking.
And then you sent him to me, and I'm sitting there, and
I sent him to you so you could see how great he looked, and you fixed him for him.
Well, because I thought it was that he wanted help. I should have left him like
No,
that.
I just thought I wanted